Okay, sorry, today's video has to be in two parts because the mailman just knocked on the door. Okay, so let's go through the answers. So one, we decided that yes, these are like terms. So now we can go ahead. So that's our first question. Are these like terms? Yes, they're like terms. So second one is basically just add, subtract the integers. Okay, so the numbers in front. Or we'll say the coefficients to use the right terminology. The coefficients. Okay, so that's the number in front. So we're going to add, subtract. So just 6 minus 8, that's negative 2 and y. We have to include the y. Okay, that's the answer. That's all it is there. Okay, next one. First question, are these like terms? Yes, they are, because they're both x, and they both have an exponent of 1. So yes, we can do it. Second part, add, subtract the coefficients. So negative 7 plus 1. When you have a variable and it doesn't have a number in front of it, it has an imaginary 1 there. Okay? So negative 7 plus 1, that's negative 6. X, that's your answer for that one. Okay, first question. Are these like terms? Yes, they are. They're both A's. They both have an exponent of 1. So negative 3 minus 2, that's negative 5. And don't forget the A. Okay, down here we have a couple things. The x's, these are like terms. So we can add or subtract them. We can gather, we can collect like terms. These ones are constants. So they, we'll just put a little squiggle under those. So those are in the same group or the same team, whatever you want to say. I think I used to say team when I was teaching. But these are in the same group because they're constants. They don't have variables. They don't have letters with them. These ones are x. They both have the exponent of 1, so they're like terms. Okay, so we can collect them. If it helps, and it does help a lot of students, to put them side by side. So negative 9x plus x. There's one group. My other group, I'm just going to space it over, and I have to make sure I include the sign in front of it. So negative 5 minus 8. There's my two groups. Okay, so my first group, if it even helps, you can kind of put like a bit of a line. Okay. Negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8x. So there's my first group. And then I have negative 5 minus 8, so that's negative 13. So your answer is right there. There's two terms. It's a binomial, and that's your final answer. You cannot simplify anymore because now you have one with an x, and this doesn't have an x, so you can't simplify that further. Okay? Okay, those are the examples I want to go through. I'm going to put one last one up. It is a more complicated one, but it's a good one to try and make sure that you really kind of get what's going on here. So the question is 7m squared plus 3m squared minus 2mn. Yeah, we'll do this. Minus 5n squared minus m squared and minus 6mn. Okay, looks complicated. Give it a shot, pause the video, and I'm going to put the solution up. Okay, you've now unpaused me because I'm sure you paused and tried the question. So what we need to do is to figure out the like terms. Okay, that like terms. So the ones that kind of get grouped together. So here we have an m squared. Those are going to be in the same group. I'm going to check through. This is another m squared. So all those are in the same group. So I'm going to put them side by side. The most common mistake that I see students make here is when they are writing this down, I'm not solving, I'm not adding or subtracting the integers, the coefficients yet. All I'm doing is just rewriting them so that the ones that are the same are all beside each other. Okay, but the mistake that I see people make is, I'll do it here, plus 3m squared. They might just write plus m squared there. Be super careful when you're moving things around to put the terms side by side that are the same. Make sure you take the sign that's in front of the term and that goes down with it. Okay, so this is minus m squared up here. It has to be minus m squared here. Plus 3m squared has to be plus 3m squared here. Okay, so I'm going to check those ones off because they're down here, just to keep track. Now I have an mn group, so I'll put like a squiggle under there. Mn, not mn, mn. So I'm going to put those side by side. So this is minus 2mn. So I put that down. Minus 2mn minus 6mn. I'm going to check those off because now they're used. Okay, my very last one is on its own. So let's do lines under it. Okay, so it's n squared. There's no more other n squareds, but I can't drop it because it's part of the question. So I'm just going to write it down on its own. Minus 5n squared. Okay, it does help some people to put little dividers between the groups. Okay, so I'll put that divider there. Make sure you put it after the m squared, not between here. Okay, because then you might treat that as a positive. So right there and right there. Okay, so there's my groups. So then I go and I can ignore those, solve this. So 7m squared plus 3, so 7 plus 3 is 10, minus 1 is 9. So 9m squared. Now I can ignore those two and just work on this one. I have negative 2 minus 6, so that gives me negative 8mn. And then this one's on its own, so I just write it down. I'm not adding or subtracting it to any. Okay, and that's your answer, right there. Okay, I can't go any further because these are now all different terms. That's what today is. It seems sometimes complicated, sometimes easy, but the key for this is to practice as many of these kind of questions as possible. So I am going to send out PDF on Edsby, a sheet that just gives you a whole bunch of questions to practice through. Please write those down. Please work through those questions. And that's what we'll do basically Monday and Tuesday, okay? The questions I'll ask you right now, any questions that you have on the worksheet or any questions from this lesson, either write it at the end of the YouTube video or send me an Edsby message. If I get enough of the same kind of questions, what I will do is I'll just make a short little video going through a couple common questions that you have, okay? So I hope this helps. Please give me as much feedback as possible, and it'll be nice to hear from you. Okay.